Are you wondering if the Sony ZV-1 cameras actually overheat? Well, I have some very bad news for you. All these ZV-1 cameras actually overheat like crazy. So, for example, this ZV-1 Mark 1 gets around 10 minutes of 4K 60-bit recording before it will try to shut down and warn you that it has become too hot. So what I really do, I go to the settings in the setup page number 2, and you can basically adjust this auto power temperature. If you set it to standard, so by the way the cameras comes from the factory with this setting, standard one. So again, on this standard setting, again in like normal room, for example like 22 Celsius room, you can get roughly 10 minutes of basically shooting time on this camera. If you set it to high, basically the warning will still come up at around maybe 10-minute mark, maybe even faster if you have been shooting previously, or maybe it's very hot where you are basically, but it won't shut itself down and it will basically continue shooting. And unless you really are in very hot environment, in normal conditions, it won't shut down, but when you touch it, it will become very hot. So at least that's good. And also I have had the ZV-1F camera as well, and that pretty much was the same really. I haven't personally used the Mark II, but from what I have heard, it hasn't been improved at all. Basically all the internals are the same as on the ZV-1 Mark I. So really all these cameras overheat like crazy in 4K at least. If you shoot in the like 180p, basically like full HD, I think you can basically run for a bit longer. Also the battery life on these cameras also are absolutely dreadful. So combined poor battery life and also overheating and very tiny battery, basically when I'm shooting in 4K I literally only get like 30 minutes of runtime from these cameras. So yeah, when it comes to overheating, they're absolutely dreadful basically. By the way, if you want to get the best runtime, really make sure your screen is positioned like this and not near the body, so it has actually got a better chance at cooling itself. On the Mark II you can even like pop this out as well, so you get more cooling. On the Mark I you can't do that if you have mounted it on tripod basically. Also they do sell kind of attached fans for these cameras, so you can actually cool them as well if you find you can't live with overheating on these cameras. Anyway, good luck.